mic check, 1, 2, 3, mic check, 1, 2, 3. Good, yeah.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sergeant Andy Williams with the Phoenix Police Department Public Affairs Bureau. That's ANDYWILLIAMS. I'm joined on stage today by Executive Assistant Chief Michael Kurtenbach, KURTENBACH. Chief Williams wishes she could be here to talk about this today, but she's out of town. We're going to be giving you an update about the homicide that occurred on Friday night, June 25th, where 15-year-old Graciela Andrea Molina was tragically killed. After Chief Kurtenbach speaks, I'll be available to answer questions about the incident. Chief Kurtenbach.
Thank you, Andy, and good morning, everyone. Mayor Gallego is unable to attend this morning, but after speaking with her, I can personally attest to the fact that she is deeply saddened by the event that brings us here today. As Sergeant Williams said, this past Friday night, a stray bullet tragically took the life of 15-year-old Graciela Molina as she was in the bedroom of her Phoenix home. Her loss devastated her family, and it was hard for our first responders and our entire department, for that matter, to wrap our heads around such a senseless, meaningless tragedy. I am here today to announce that with the help of our community and some amazing good old-fashioned police work, we've made an arrest in this case. Homicide detectives have arrested and booked 35-year-old Fernando Pena last night. Detectives believe that he was recreationally shooting a firearm in close proximity to the Molina home when the bullet pierced her window and took her life. We have forensic evidence that ties Pena to this crime, and we booked him for manslaughter. Upon responding to this scene, Phoenix homicide detectives literally started with a blank slate. They were assisted by our community response detectives, and they all worked together over the weekend, knocking on doors, putting door hangers out there, canvassing the neighborhood, trying to dig up any clue they could to solve this heinous crime. Our public affairs unit also put out information via social media and worked with you, our media partners, to get the word out. Yesterday, a courageous individual came forward and provided us with information that led to a break in this case. In less than 40 hours after this senseless crime, we were able to effect this arrest. This arrest would not have been possible without the support of our community, our Phoenix community, who trusted us to share this information so that we could make this arrest. As your police department, we're doing what we can each and every day to solve violent crimes such as this, but it cannot be accomplished without the help of everyone. We are so much stronger, and our community benefits so much more when we work together. We are just starting to emerge from a very difficult time here locally, nationally. Now is the time we must check on each other, be there for our neighbors, and unite in partnership to put a stop to this awful violence. As a police department, if we think that we can get a handle on this type of crime by ourselves, we are sadly mistaken. If our community believes that stopping this crime is the role of the police department, that's just not the case either. The only way we can make our community safe, our Phoenix community, is by working together. And this case is a perfect example of that type of collaboration. As a department and as a father, our deepest condolences go out to the Molina family. And let's not forget this senseless act has impacted the life of a 35-year-old man and his family and loved ones as well. Once again, I'd like to thank the community for rallying around the Molina family and providing that critical piece of information that helped us solve this case. I am so very proud of the men and women of the Phoenix Police Department who work so selflessly for our community each and every day and the work they put forth to solve this crime. And I'm proud of our community for the support they've shown following such a tragedy. And I think it's important to note before I close, we're getting ready to embark on the 4th of July holiday. And sadly, as somebody who has worn this uniform for 31 years, we know that we see lots of gunfire during this holiday. And I'm imploring our community, please, please don't shoot your guns anywhere other than when they are supposed to be fired. Let's put our guns down. Let's celebrate peacefully. Let's enjoy this holiday together. Thank you. I'll take any questions for either me or the sergeant.
Yes, the court documents had said that Graciela was in the room with her father and an 11-year-old juvenile. Is that a sibling of hers?
Yes, sister.
Younger sister? And then just commenting on what you said this is not a crime that police can necessarily stop. How do you stop something like this?
So this is where people need to understand it is not us and them, right? I wear this uniform, but I was born in this community. I'm part of this community. I've raised my children in this community. We are part of the fabric of community. And I understand it takes trust and it takes that collaboration and partnership that I talked about, but that's what we need. In this case, but for a courageous individual who came forward and had trust and faith in us, who knows if we would have solved this crime, despite the heroic efforts of the men and women of the department. That's what we need. And when I talk about coming out of the pandemic, quite frankly, we've learned a lot. We've learned to adapt to Zoom, WebEx, Google, all these other platforms. But there's no substitute from sitting down with somebody and developing a relationship and talking with one another. That's how we can get through this, and that's how we can reduce crime in our community.
Can you tell us more about this Good Samaritan? What prompted them to come forward? Did he speak with police and then come back and come forward? Or you mentioned the leaflets and stuff like that. Tell us a little bit about his or her decision to come forward.
So respectfully, I'm not going to delve much into that information for the safety of that individual, but what I can say, what I believe, what I've heard from our investigators, it was because this individual saw us out there, saw the care that we had for that tragic loss, saw us in this heat. We all know this Phoenix heat, hanging up door hangers and going door to door. I believe that prompted this person to come forward and share that critical bit of information.
What do we know about Mr. Pena? Does he have a history with the police?
As far as specific criminal history, I'll let Sergeant Williams address that.
You mentioned that he was recreationally shooting, and you mentioned, obviously 4th of July, we unfortunately see a lot of people being shooting into the air. Is that what he was doing, or was he shooting at a target recreationally, or something else?
We don't believe, based on the evidence, that Graciela was the intended target, but it's fair to say that he was shooting in a direction very recklessly, which ultimately led to this tragedy.
Do we have any idea how close or far he was from the home of Graciela?
I don't have specifics. Sergeant Williams can address that.
As far as the distance from the physical evidence we located of the shooting, it was over 100 yards, or more than 100 yards, so, the length of a football field, which plays into our belief that she was not the intended target of the shooting.
Does it show that if a bullet goes up there more eventually?
Absolutely, we all know about Shannon's Law. It is a felony to discharge a firearm within city limits for that very reason. When that bullet goes up, it will come down somewhere. In this case, it came down in about the worst possible location that it could have.
Can you tell us about his previous postal service involvement?
So we don't typically talk about criminal history with people, but what I can say is he's not a typical person that you would expect to be involved in this sort of a crime. By all accounts, he was just an average person who made a bad decision.
Does he face homicide charges?
He has been charged with manslaughter, 2 counts of endangerment, and 2 counts of discharging a firearm within city limits.
Do you believe he was intoxicated at the time?
I don't have any information about intoxication.
Did the bullet go through a window or the wall? Or?
Yeah, the bullet pierced a window of the 2nd floor.
Could you give us an idea of like the manpower that it takes to conduct all of that outreach that you guys did and to encourage people to come forward in such a short amount of time and wrapping this up?
Yeah, absolutely. I can say that the amount of man-hours that were put into this from our homicide detectives and our community response bureau, it was enormous. To try to saturate that area with enough officers to make an actual impact, to put a hanger on every door in that nearby neighborhood, it took an immense effort. In times like this, we know that we can't do it alone, and that's where that outreach with the media becomes so important for us, to try to amplify that message and get the community to help us.
Have you spoken with the family about, about Graciela? Tell us anything about her? Where she was in school, or what are, talked about her interests or anything about her?
Yeah, so the family has been, they're obviously very grateful of our efforts in this case. They have just asked at this time to just have some privacy while they mourn the loss of their loved one.
Is there anything that they would like people to know about her?
I don't have any specific information about that, but I have seen some of you have shared it on social media. They have started a GoFundMe to help cover the expense of her funeral costs.
Where was she shot?
Are you physically on her body? It was in her upper body.
Was she laying down, or were any of the other people sleeping or anything like that?
No, they were inside the bedroom together. Just their specifics, I can't really go into those details, but they were all awake.
And the 2 counts of endangerment, I'm assuming, for the father and the little sister.
Correct. All right. I want to thank everyone for coming today. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate the support of the community who really helped with that critical piece of information that broke the case for us. Thank you.